what I was going to offer is I have a little bit of I have a tiny little bit of coaching experience. When my son was young, I was coaching little kids in ASO and St. Francis soccer, and the soccer parent is a particular species, or the sports parent in general.
Right.
And it does not bring out the best in people. And I sometimes say that I have not made a single friend in all my years of being a soccer parent because it's like, the people just get weird, and every once in a while I would meet somebody and be like, oh, he seems like a nice guy, and we would have a little chat before the game, and then like 3 minutes in, he would like jump up and scream at the referee in defense of his like 11-year-old. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. We will not be friends either, because he's also insane. So this is how I sort of looked at the whole thing. It's like soccer parenting taken to the absolute max. This is like, so, you fuck with, and it's always, the child can do no wrong. These children, I had parents, I've had these talks with, and in my case, these children were little, right? We're talking about 6, 7-year-olds. I mean, 11-year-olds, I was just a parent. I wasn't even coaching then. I think the oldest kids that I ever coached were like 7 or 8. And I would have people, parents come to me and say, you keep playing my son as a defender, and that is not his position. He is a striker. And I would say,
he's 6. This is a 6-year-old he's talking about.
Right. And I would say, like, your son stops playing when a plane flies over, and he stops and watches the plane go by. Okay, we're not talking about Lionel Messi here, but this is the nature of the sports parent. All the children are God's gift to the sport. And everybody else, coaches, teammates, other parents, just conspire to stand in the way of this child fully expressing its God-given talent. So there's never anything wrong. The responsibility always lies with everybody else. So I definitely
Hi, my son is a sweeper keeper, so I know he wanders away from the box.
I mean, like, and people like with a straight face, say these things, and I'm like, do you listen to yourself? Anyway, and
when my son left the field to go to that Nathan's hot dog stand to buy peanuts, they're into the game. That was just him. He's just being a libero. That's what he's like. He wanders, so let my son wander, okay?
Yeah, it's exactly.
He should be team captain.
And I mean, just wild, right? And so I have to say, this whole
it gave you
this
PTSD.
whole story. I could not help but side with Greg Berhalter as like, what the fuck are these parents? They will just stop at nothing.
I know, it is weird, isn't it? It's stopped.
I mean,
the funny thing about that, these people all play the World Cups. These aren't like, these
and
aren't
it's also, I mean,
these are
so
like
that was, so this is point, right? So that was my. It's not insider information, but that was my take number one was, this is just soccer parenting gone even wilder than I've experienced.
Yeah. So anyway, now I want to go back into this thing with the soccer parenting and stuff. What do you think? Is that related to maybe the cost? Like, if I spend $5,000 a year on my son playing, would I be egging on the coach to play him more, do you think? Or what is that?
No, ASO's basically free. I don't think.
Well, then what's the mentality of that? Like, why is 100% of the parents like, my kid needs to play? Like, what is that, do you think?
And
when you were a parent, did you ever feel that? Like, what's your perspective as a parent?
I mean, I definitely would. I got into it a couple times with people. You get protective. I mean, this is the I almost want to say the basic conflict of humanity, right? Or especially these days, when you look at the world on Twitter versus the world how it actually works, right? Like, I understand intellectually that my children, I can't make an argument, a moral argument that my children deserve better treatment than other children. I think, my children are not different from other children. However, to me, they're extremely different. I would do things for my children that I would not do for anybody else's children. I would like to see them succeed. I feel like they deserve things. So I think that's the basic problem, right? Like, if you're on like, we have this kind of, the world of policy and moral code and rules and regulations and how to run a soccer federation and what blah 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 blah, all these things where everybody has the same chance and we're all the same. But then when we're parents, not everybody's the same. We're like responsible for these tiny humans, and then we go nuts sometimes. I think that's what it is. And then, but then when those incidents get brought into the world of rules and policy, it's embarrassing. You're like, yeah, I know you should not act that way. I understand if everybody did that, the world would collapse. I understand that was stupid. It's like, driving. Sometimes you get upset.
Oh yeah.
And this is not your, this is not your best moment, but here we are. So I think it's that. You can't defend it.
What's realer? Which brain is realer? The we need to commit to policy, or the like fuck you, play my son, the lizard brain, the emotional creatures that we are.
I think they're both. I think the lizard brain will always win short term. I think the lizard brain is always stronger in the moment. Because that goes into very, like, it goes into primal stuff like survival, and it plugs into stuff that has an enormous urgency. Like, I would have, when
so it's related to parent. It's like a parent's brain.
Yeah,
it's like if you're a parent, that's a new part of your brain that you have, and that enacts, that overrides.
It's
everything.
Totally hormonal. It's funny we're talking about, but I had I felt that viscerally in a way that I did not expect. Like, when my son was born, and it was immediate. It was like, he was like an hour old or whatever. And Paige, my wife, was nursing him in the bed. And I had like the surge of whatever it was, hormonal. So I was like, I have to circle this bed and I have to fend off wild animals coming at it. Like, it was like, I've never felt anything like that in my life.
Right.
I am not, traditionally an alpha type, dude, or picking fights with people. No, but like, I felt that urgency in a way that I haven't. And then, if then on the soccer field, like, some other kid goes after my son, or then his dad will like say something, I'm like, yeah, you lose your shit.
Wait, give me, we don't think this, but I'm like, because I'm not a parent, so I'm very curious about this. Like, did you have a parent where he told his son to, like, hey, break the leg of that guy's son? Has it gonna be like, go break his leg?
No, I mean, these are 8-year-olds, so it's it wasn't quite like that. But there's always, I mean, it's sports is our substitute for war, right? So it always gets very tribal, and even the fucking, the super mellow Park Slope dudes get pretty riled up. And like, if there's some, and it always spills over, there's some, the kids get into it for whatever it is. There's a bad foul, or somebody is. The other thing that's another layer, especially around here, is that there's really no expertise. Like, a lot of the parents don't know the game at all, so they're just taking whatever their kids tell them as gospel. The kid will say like, oh, that ref sucks, or like this, and the parents are like, oh, the ref sucks, and this, and there's no, there's never any perspective of saying, listen, calm down, this is not. So I think
No, you get that everywhere.
I think
And it's also not a
referees,
soccer thing, it's an everything thing.
referee, right? All sports,
Stage
yeah.
moms, right?
For
That's where
sure.
stage moms come from. Though, like my daughter is,
But
the
it's like
lead or
it's
whatever.
it's parenting. You know, parenting brings that thing out in you, and then when there's any kind of competitive aspect to it, then it gets amplified. It's like, I mean, the ASO, the ASO philosophy is extremely inclusive, right? It's everybody plays. There's like a rule, you know, you can't have, you know, everybody gets the same playing time. There's not going to be, you know, blah blah blah. But it still doesn't matter. People still get worked up. Like it's just how it works. Yeah.
That was just a Schnitzel Boys video on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. If you like that one, we've got a couple other ones right over here. And if you like that one, don't be afraid to subscribe, like, and ring that bell.
It's the Schnitzel Boys, it's the Schnitzel Boys, it's the Schnitzel Boys.